Hi, I'm Ariel. I never thought I'd be telling this story, but here we are. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with gastroparesis, a condition where my stomach basically forgot how to work properly. I can't digest food normally, and after losing 60 pounds in 4 months, my doctor decided I needed a feeding tube. It's not glamorous, but it keeps me alive. My husband Marcus and I had been married for 3 years when this all happened. We were living in a small house about 10 minutes from his parents. His mom, Carol, was the sweetest woman you'd ever meet. His dad, Richard? That's a different story. "You look better today," Marcus said one morning, kissing my forehead as I adjusted my feeding pump. "I feel better. Dr. Patterson increased my formula yesterday." "That's great, babe. I'm heading to work, but Dad said he'd stop by around lunch to check on you." I tried to hide my grimace. "Oh, okay. Ariel, come on, he's trying." He asked me last week if I'd considered just eating normally because his cousin's neighbor's daughter had stomach problems and she got over it. Marcus sighed. He doesn't understand chronic illness. Give him time. After Marcus left, I settled on the couch with my feeding pump humming quietly beside me. Around noon, Richard let himself in with the spare key. "Ariel, how are we today?" "I'm fine, Richard. You didn't have to come by." He sat down across from me, staring at my feeding tube with that look, the one I'd seen dozens of times. Disgust mixed with skepticism. "You know, when Carol had her gallbladder out, she was back to normal in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, Ariel. That's different. Gastroparesis is chronic. It doesn't just go away. But you're so young. And you were perfectly fine before you married Marcus." My stomach dropped. "What are you implying?" "I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying it's convenient timing. Marcus has good insurance through his job. Real good insurance. I need you to leave. I'm just worried about my son, Ariel. He's working himself to death taking care of you." "Get out of my house, Richard." He stood up slowly, hands raised. Fine. I'll go. But think about what I said." The door clicked shut behind him, and I immediately called my best friend, Jenna. "He what?" Jenna practically screamed through the phone. "He basically accused me of faking for insurance money. Jenna, I can't believe this." "Did you tell Marcus?" "Not yet. He's at work, and honestly, I don't know if he'll believe how bad it was. Richard's good at playing the concerned father. Ariel, you need to tell him tonight. This is serious." That evening, Marcus came home exhausted. I waited until after dinner. His dinner, since I was hooked up to my pump. "We need to talk about your dad." "What now?" "He came by today and basically accused me of faking my illness. Said it was convenient timing that I got sick after we got married." Marcus's jaw tightened. "He said that?" "He also said I'm working you to death and mentioned your insurance." "Jesus, Ariel, I'll talk to him." "Marcus, it's more than that. He's been making comments for months. Remember when he suggested I just try harder to eat? He's from a different generation. They don't get—" "Stop making excuses for him. He's questioning my entire medical condition." Marcus ran his hands through his hair. "Okay, you're right. I'll handle it." But 3 days later, everything changed. I was home alone again, feeding pump running, when Richard showed up unannounced. "Marcus isn't here," I said, not opening the door fully. "I know. I saw him leave. We need to talk." "No, we really don't." He pushed past me into the house. "This has gone on long enough, Ariel." "What are you talking about? Get out." "You've got my son wrapped around your finger with this sick act. I've been reading about these tubes online. People fake needing them all the time." My heart was pounding. "Richard, you need to leave right now." "I'm going to prove you're faking." Before I could react, he crossed the room and yanked the feeding tube right out of my stomach. I screamed, clutching my abdomen where the tube had been. Blood and stomach acid leaked through my shirt. "See? You're fine. If you really needed it, you'd be dying right now." "You psychopath. Call 911. Richard's face went pale as he realized what he'd done. I was just trying to help Marcus see the truth." "Get out!" He scrambled toward the door, and I grabbed my phone with shaking hands, calling 911 first, then Marcus. The paramedics arrived within 8 minutes. A young EMT named Sophie immediately assessed the situation. "Ma'am, who removed your feeding tube?" "My father-in-law, he ripped it out." "This is a medical assault," Sophie said, her partner already on the radio. "We need to document everything. Can you tell me exactly what happened?" Between tears and pain, I explained everything while they worked to stabilize me. Marcus burst through the door just as they were loading me into the ambulance. "Ariel, baby, what happened?" "Your dad ripped out my feeding tube, Marcus. He ripped it out." Marcus's face went white. "What? No, that can't. He said I was faking. He said he was going to prove it." At the hospital, Dr. Patterson was furious. "This is one of the most reckless things I've encountered in 20 years of practice," she said, examining the site. "Ariel, we need to replace the tube. But first, I need you to tell me exactly what happened. Detective Morrison is here to take your statement." A tired-looking detective in his 50s pulled out a notepad. "Mrs. Carter, I know this is difficult. Start from the beginning." I recounted everything. The months of comments, the accusations, and finally the assault. "Did he make any threats before removing the tube?" "He said he was going to prove I was faking. Then he just did it. And there's blood on your clothing, visible injury. The paramedics documented it. This is assault, Mrs. Carter. Possibly attempted murder, depending on how the DA wants to charge it." Marcus had been silent, sitting in the corner. "Detective, my father, he wouldn't actually try to kill anyone. He's just ignorant about medical stuff." "Marcus!" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I'm not defending what he did, Ariel. But attempted murder? That's insane." Detective Morrison closed his notebook. "Mr. Carter, your father removed a medical device keeping your wife alive. If she hadn't gotten help immediately, she could have died. That's not ignorance, that's criminal." Jenna arrived an hour later, pushing past a protesting nurse. "Ariel, oh my God, are you okay?" No, I'm really not." She looked at Marcus. "Where's Richard?" "Home, I guess. I don't know." "You don't know? Your father tried to kill your wife and you don't know where he is?" "Jenna, back off. This is complicated." "Complicated? Are you kidding me right now?" Dr. Patterson interrupted. "Everyone out except Ariel. She needs rest, and we need to replace the feeding tube." As they left, Jenna squeezed my hand. "I'm getting a lawyer. Don't let Marcus talk you out of pressing charges." The next morning, my hospital room felt like a war zone. Carol had shown up first, sobbing. "Ariel, honey, I'm so sorry. I can't believe Richard did this. Did you know he thought I was faking? He mentioned he had concerns, but I never thought, oh God, I should have said something." "Yeah, you should have." Then Marcus's brother, Devin, arrived. "Ariel, how are you holding up?" "Your brother is defending your father." Devin's expression darkened. "What? After what Dad did?" "He called it ignorance. Said attempted murder charges are insane." "That's bullshit. Ariel, I'm on your side. What Dad did was unforgivable." 2 days later, I was released from the hospital with a new feeding tube and a restraining order against Richard. But it wasn't enough. I wanted justice. The confrontation happened at Carol and Richard's house. Detective Morrison had arranged it, hoping Richard would confess with witnesses present. I sat between Jenna and Devin, my new lawyer Sarah beside me. Marcus sat with his parents. Richard looked smaller somehow, deflated. "Ariel, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I was so wrong." "You don't get to apologize, Richard. You don't get to make this better. I wasn't thinking clearly. I let my concerns override my judgment." Sarah leaned forward. "Mr. Carter, can you explain what concerns led you to assault Mrs. Carter?" I thought she might be exaggerating her condition. For attention or for insurance money," I interrupted. "You said it was convenient timing that I got sick after marrying Marcus." Carol gasped. "Richard, you didn't!" "I was worried about Marcus. She was draining him." Devin stood up. "Dad, are you seriously still blaming her? You could have killed her." "I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just wanted to prove what?" I stood too, shaking with anger. Prove that decades of medical school and diagnostic tests were wrong? Prove that my suffering is fake? Ariel, please. You violated my body, Richard. You assaulted me in my own home. Because what? You read some articles online and decided you knew better than my doctors? Marcus finally spoke. Dad, you need to apologize properly. Are you serious right now? I turned to my husband. He already apologized. I don't want his apology. I want him in prison. Ariel, he's my father. And I'm your wife, the woman he tried to kill. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic? Marcus, your father ripped a medical device out of my body. There's nothing dramatic about wanting him to face consequences. Richard stood, his voice rising. I said I was sorry. What more do you want from me? I want you to suffer like I suffered. I want you to understand that your actions have consequences. You're vindictive. This is exactly the kind of person you are. Excuse me? Making a mountain out of a molehill. I made a mistake, but you're trying to destroy my life over it. A mistake? A mistake? Carol tried to intervene. Richard, stop talking, please. No, she needs to hear this. I'm a 65-year-old man with no criminal record. One error in judgment and she wants me behind bars? You assaulted someone, Dad, Devin said quietly. That's not an error in judgment. She's family. I was trying to help Marcus. Sarah stood up. Mr. Carter, you're making this very easy for the prosecution. Everything you're saying is being recorded. Richard's face went red. This is entrapment. No, this is you revealing your true character. You're not sorry. You're angry that you got caught. I am sorry, but I don't deserve to go to prison. You deserve exactly what's coming to you, I said. And I'm going to make sure you get it. You ungrateful... He lunged toward me, and Detective Morrison, who'd been waiting outside, burst through the door. That's enough, Mr. Carter. You just violated your restraining order. Richard froze. I didn't touch her. You made a threatening move toward her. That's a violation. Turn around. This is ridiculous. Carol, call our lawyer. As Morrison handcuffed him, Richard glared at me. You're going to regret this, Ariel. When Marcus comes to his senses and divorces you, you'll have no one. Marcus stood there, silent, as his father was led away. The trial took 3 months to start. In that time, Marcus moved in with his mother, and I filed for divorce. Devin and Jenna became my support system. How are you feeling about today? Jenna asked as we walked into the courthouse. Terrified, relieved, angry, all of it. Sarah met us at the entrance. Richard's lawyer is pushing for a plea deal. Assault in the 3rd degree, suspended sentence, probation. No deal, I said immediately. Ariel, I have to tell you, the DA thinks we should consider it. Trial is risky. Then we risk it. I want everyone to hear what he did. The trial lasted a week. Dr. Patterson testified about the severity of my condition and the danger of removing a feeding tube. Sophie, the paramedic, described the scene she found. Detective Morrison presented the recordings from the confrontation. When I took the stand, Richard's lawyer tried to paint me as vindictive. Mrs. Carter, isn't it true you refused multiple apologies from my client? Yes. And isn't it true you told him you wanted him to suffer? Yes. So this isn't about justice. It's about revenge. Sarah objected, but I wanted to answer. It's about both. He tried to kill me because he thought I was faking a chronic illness. He violated my body and my home. An apology doesn't undo that. Consequences do. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. When they returned, the forewoman stood. On the charge of assault in the 1st degree, we find the defendant guilty. Richard's face crumbled. Carol sobbed. Marcus stared at the floor. I felt empty. Not happy, not sad, just empty. At sentencing 2 weeks later, Richard got 4 years in prison. The judge was harsh. Mr. Carter, you took it upon yourself to play doctor with someone's life. Your actions were callous, dangerous, and showed a complete disregard for human suffering. This sentence reflects the severity of your crime. After the sentencing, Carol approached me in the hallway. Ariel, I know you'll never forgive Richard. I'm not asking you to, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't protect you from him. Thank you, Carol. That means something. Devin hugged me tight. You did it. You actually did it. We did it. I couldn't have survived this without you and Jenna. Marcus appeared then, looking broken. Ariel, can we talk? There's nothing to say, Marcus. The divorce papers are being filed tomorrow. I should have protected you. I should have believed you from the start. Yes, you should have. But you chose him over me. Every single time. I'm sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't fix this. You stood by while your father accused me of faking a life-threatening illness. You defended him after he assaulted me. Sorry isn't enough. Is there any chance? No, there's no chance. Goodbye, Marcus. 6 months later, I was sitting in my new apartment, a fresh start away from the Carter family. Jenna was over for our weekly dinner. How's the new feeding tube working? Better. Dr. Patterson adjusted the formula again. I actually gained 3 pounds this month. That's amazing. And how are you feeling otherwise? Stronger. Definitely stronger. Going through all that, standing up to Richard, taking him to trial. It showed me I'm tougher than I thought. You absolutely are. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. For the first time in years, I feel like I'm in control of my life again. Devin texted me later that night. Dad's lawyer is trying to appeal. Just wanted you to know. I replied, let him try. I'm not afraid anymore. And I meant it. Richard could appeal all he wanted, but the truth was out there now. Everyone knew what he'd done. His reputation was destroyed, his freedom taken, and his family fractured. I'd gotten my revenge, not through violence or manipulation, but through the legal system, through truth. That was the sweetest victory of all. So what do you think? Have you ever dealt with someone who refused to believe in your illness or struggles? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more true revenge stories.